Hello everybody and welcome to Bad Parking. It's like Idiots in Cars, except the idiots are not currently in their cars. They've left them behind. Let's start off with number 19. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Vehicle was unoccupied. I too enjoy just parking in the middle of where people drive inside of the parking lot over the text for the stop sign. You know, in their defense, maybe they can't read upside down, or there were some reflections from the rain that made it hard to read, but certainly you wouldn't want to just park in the open space that was next to that. But maybe that space wasn't there when they approached, and the lot was full, and they were just like, I'll stay here for a bit. There's room. In fact, I can't figure out why no one else is parked here. That's really silly. A whole flock. Is there a proper term for a flock of badly parked cars? Feel free to leave your comments down below, naming this phenomenon. Anyway, I like who set this in motion, right? Somebody had to be the first to do it here. Except it's like on this side, that guy's parked like on the other side of the line, so he's kind of self-contained over there. And then you have two people who are kind of like this person in the Altima is like on the towards the camera side, so it's like they're not really affecting each other. But then this guy in the red pickup truck was like, heck, I'm gonna just go both sides here, right? I'm gonna have my front right tire over on the far side, and then everything else. So I'm gonna take up like 3 spots, not 4, only 3. I'm being considerate here of the white SUV. But also, it's like, who initiated this and made everybody else more comfortable? I feel like it's a birds of the feather kind of thing. Like, someone else saw the first person, and they were like, okay, I don't have to worry about my parking either. We're good. Let's do this thing. And then it just devolved. And they're like, please don't key my car. I swear, they did it first. It's their fault. Blame them. Didn't even bother to try to park in a spot. See, this is rough, because this car is gigantic, or this truck is gigantic. And if you tried to park in like a normal size spot here, you're either gonna be sticking way out into the lane, you're gonna go over to the other side, and you're gonna be occupying like 2 spaces that are head on with each other. You're probably wide enough that you're almost gonna just be spilling over to the spots next to you. And then everyone's gonna be like, wow, you parked like a dick. So they chose the other of the 2 evils and they just parked in like a non-space. But they were like, hopefully this doesn't impact anyone. So I don't know what to think of this. What I think of this is, holy frick, this is just such a gigantic truck. How do you drive this thing? I have like the opposite mentality where I want to be in like the smallest car possible because I just feel like I'm more nimble and I'm not gonna hit everything around me. And this, I feel like the way it looks, this is not like a work truck used to haul loads. Like this is a toy. Like their fancy truck kind of thing. And it just like, I would be so intimidated driving something like this, and it's so impractical. Yes, sports cars are also impractical, but at least I feel small. If I didn't have a toddler to put in the car seat, I might not care as much. I can't actually tell like whose car is like, are you the blue car? Are you the silver car? Like we both have passenger doors facing each other. So like, I don't know which car you're trying to put it in. I'm assuming you're trying to put in the blue car because that's a reasonably good parking space or parking job. And like, they could be tight spaces, you never know. The silver car didn't do a super great job. So I'm assuming you're the blue car. Yeah, it's not a great job by the silver car, but it depends. Like I've been in parking lots before. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Please let me be out in like 5 minutes because I'm gonna get my door dinged. Like someone next to me is not gonna be nearly as careful as I am, and these spaces just do not have enough space. They're not spaces, they're lack of spaces. Yeah, that didn't go anywhere. Someone needed to be closer to the door. Please use the other door. It says, the one around the corner. This is actually the owner's car, and they're really trying to enforce their please use the other door policy, where they just go around the corner. They also they're not allowing themselves to be wheelchair accessible. That's pretty bad. That's a lot of things rolled into one. They have obstructed a little bit of the wheelchair, exit of a van, but then also they've just blocked the entire ramp up onto the curb and into the building. I assume this is an automatic door. It's probably please use this door right here. Like everything is terrible. How did you do this badly? It's really impressive. Like you saw yourself driving onto the sidewalk and then you walked away from your car, looked back and said, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Bad neighbor in an apartment. I live in an apartment with limited parking. This Yahoo has 3 cars he stores here. When he does take one out, he just moves the others to save his space. The office isn't doing anything, and illegal suggestions to fix this. Talk to him, and he just laughs. He does not care that everyone else has to fight for parking, sometimes has to walk a few blocks late at night. Or sometimes has to walk a few blocks late at night. See, this is like... I don't understand this behavior, because clearly he's the one who cares a lot about his car. And so... while I would not be someone to vandalize, this sort of behavior is exactly what would encourage someone to anonymously go and vandalize the car at some point, and it would be really hard to figure out who that person was, and presumably nobody else in the apartment complex is going to say a word about it. So it just seems like really counterproductive to the future of your own vehicles that you care about a lot to do that. Like, if I'm storing my car in a public space, I am trying to be as low footprint, minimum intrusion on other people as I possibly can, because I don't want people to like look at the car. I don't want people to think about the car. I want it to be like it's not there at all. Ignore it, just don't touch it, right? Like, be low impact. I don't know. It's such a weird approach. So then he gets back with this other car and he just moves them both, moves this one and they both occupy the spaces. Ay. Parked over here to avoid the main lot where someone hit my car last month. Go outside to get the mail and see this short. What? This is classic, bro. I think I said this in, I don't know if it was an Idiots in Cars or Mildly Infuriating video, but like, a few months back, I parked completely like away from all other cars in the parking lot. And then just giganticest truck, like the size of that one in the previous post, just parked right up next to me. Not door ding distance, fortunately, but I was like, of all the places, I am like, maybe you were trying to be my bodyguard protector or something but of all the places, you're right there. Why you do this? This would be even more infuriating because they parked terribly. Like, were they mad? They were like, oh, you're parking way too close to the grass there. When, like, you would do, this is such a wide space, this is generous parking space, real estate. You could have just parked right there, but no, maybe they thought they were, being your guardian angel. They don't have a passenger, they only are exiting out of their driver door, and they're like, this way nobody will ding your beautiful Jeep, okay? I'm doing you a favor, because I'm careful. I doubt that's what they were thinking, but yeah, I don't know. Saw the Citroen Czar Picasso parked. I this isn't bad parking, this is just impressive. I would like to know the story of how this, like, did they drive on the thing? Did people play a prank? Did they get like a group of a few people and like move the boulder and then lift up the car and put it on the boulder and like straight up balance it on there? This isn't bad parking, this is bad time for the owner of the car presumably, but just, I'm impressed. I don't know. There is bad parking and then just not parking. Maybe they ran out of gas right there, They like, maybe they ran out of gas a little bit before, and then they were coasting, and they were like, oh God, we can make it. I swear we can get into the parking space. Oh, and they started making the turn, and the momentum was running out, and and they got there, and that was it. And they couldn't make it any further. Their car doesn't have a neutral gear. It's either drive or park. They didn't want to leave it in drive for fear that maybe it would realize there was gas and it would start idling forward again. This is like what would happen if Thanos snap took place. Like, just, they were about to park and then 50% chance didn't go in their favor. Woke up in the morning to this. Is it like, did they hit, or were they just like, they're solid on their, oh my God, you can see the gap. They got their mirrors down to a size. Good Lord. See, I don't know, why would you do this? Because you're risking the other person, the person with the Civic taking the photo here, that they're gonna damage your car backing out, right? I don't know that Mr. Civic can actually get out of here because there's like, he can only go straight back, but yeah, I think the pickup might have to move for it to be able to make it out. But even then, it's like, why bother? Why risk the damage? It just seems dumb. They just don't care. Maybe they don't care about damage on their vehicle, but I'm very impressed. You see that little sliver of air right there? Oh my God. That would have been the biggest sigh of relief, and then I would have just had to camp my car until the person came out and just be like, what, why? Why did you, what was the reason? And then presumably they just get mad at you and they don't answer the question and they just go like, what's your problem? What's your problem? Holy frick, I'm not the crazy one here. The license plate is fitting. Please don't be like this rude and clueless person. Do not park in handicapped spots or the striped areas. We were parked legally in a handicapped spot because this person parking illegally, my husband who uses a wheelchair, was not able to get to the door of our van or load his chair. Yeah, it's not pretty good right there. I would say like maybe they saw the yellow and they're used to being blue, but at the same time, like I'm sure the space there is pretty clearly marked, and also like the yellow dashed lines are not a parking area, but maybe they saw the post of the large fancy truck a few posts back and they're like, oh, that is a good idea. You know what? In the future, I will park in the striped yellow areas instead of parking in multiple spaces. Man. He parked like he wanted a montage, so here it is. Oh, dude. We got like some cinematography? Okay, this is probably copy strike, but this is really good cinematography. It's like good camera work. Will you film this on a red, bro? Was this in front of a production studio and you're just like, yeah, let me go grab the red here, dude. We'll just get some shots of this man's with his sick parking job. Also, nice C6. I really like C6 Corvettes. I think C6 Corvettes are the nicest looking Corvettes. In terms of Corvettes, I think they embody the Corvette for me. It's pretty cool. Just want to say it's a nice one. If that's yours, Mr. Red Cameraman, it's pretty cool. So anyway, really great cinematography there. Maybe that's what they were hoping for. They're like, oh, I should park badly in front of this camera place so that they'll shoot some cool shots of my car and then I can use it when I'm trying to sell it. It's not how this works. I kind of like this. The fact that it like took me a moment here means I kind of see how this happened, because these are the longest parking blocks I've ever seen in my life. And so I don't know, it's like they're more bright than the actual parking lines and they go from the wall out to the edge of the space. It actually almost looks like they're there as like outlined parking space. And so I see how this happened, and yeah. And maybe they did realize after they got out of that car, like, wait a second, I'd have more real estate if I went the other way. But I'll only be a few minutes. God dang it, they already caught a photo of me. The bad parking paparazzi just is quick on the job. Fun fact, in the province of Ontario, you don't need a brain to obtain a driver's license. We're gonna have a few of these, man. A few of the Thanos snap parking, like they were just pulling out of their space and then Thanos went and did the thing. And then they're like, well, that's it. That's all. I don't understand. You had a lot more room. Maybe they don't have a backup camera. No, they have a backup camera. I literally see the little blip for it right there. Well, sometimes it can be hard to judge, and not everyone is comfortable backing up. You know, there's a car there. If they hit that car, it'd be a lot of damage. So let's just keep a safe distance, and then we're not risking anything other than somebody else, you know, impacting our car because it's parked in the middle of the thing, or another person backing into it because they thought they'd have more room. That wouldn't happen. This is much better. Also, though, I think that's it. Yeah, I bet wherever anyone lives, they're always like, everybody sucks at driving. I think it's a worldwide phenomenon, if I had to guess, but it is terrifying in retrospect. The 15-and-a-half-year-olds could be out there driving on the road with a parent, and then 16 just doing it on their own. Just like, yeah, I was that too, man. It's always the little man in the new big truck that parks like shorts. That's hey, they have the freedom to park however the frick they want. It's just laziness at that point where you're like, I'm not really lined up, but also, whatever. I have plenty of room on my driver's side if it interferes with them, but also it's a brand new truck, and so why would you want to risk the door ding from the driver's side? Like, little pro tip, if you never thought about this before, I'm sure you have though, it's like usually you want to be a little bit more careful, like trying to give yourself a little bit more space if possible when it's the driver's side of the car next to you that you're up against. If it's a passenger side, you're slightly less likely to get the ding because there is in many cases, not actually a passenger that's going to be opening that door. However, if there is a passenger, there is a chance it's a child, and that increases your chance of getting a smack dramatically. So kind of like if passenger, more likely than driver probably, but better chance that there is no passenger overall, and there's always going to be a driver. So it's a bit of a balancing act. At Disneyland, you want to try to do a gap for both, or park next to a minivan. That's probably your even better bet if you get lucky, because they're guiding you where to park often. Yeah. Hey guys, I can see we got a VIP over here. He's clearly the most important person at Costco today. You see, he bought the Costco Deluxe membership, and that allows you to park this way in the parking lot. They just don't tell anyone because it's super secret VIP. The problem is then it causes you to look very bad when you do it, but he's allowed to. It's been sanctioned, but you just wouldn't know that because you're not aware of the Costco super membership tier that they rolled out, because, you know, costs are increasing in a lot of places, and they decided instead of just doing big cost increases, we'll just let the people who want to park perpendicularly subsidize everybody. So it works out for keeping costs down, and they just get to look like fools. That's exactly what it is. You just don't understand how you, they actually worked harder to accomplish this, assuming the other cars were there. Like, they did a parallel parking job rather than just pulling straight in. Yeah, the revenge we all dream about. So he parked, I'm assuming, oh yeah, that's kind of a line in the middle there, and he was just like, which is weird. You're usually a little bit more worried about door dings. Like, I'm never really worried about the person in front or behind driving into my car. Right, I'm gonna jinx myself now. We're worried about door dings. So I don't know why you would do this at all, when obviously the chances are that people are gonna be like, okay, what the frick are you doing? You're in a little Miata. I can actually just park on either side of you. And clearly you're not gonna damage my car. You care about your car, so you're gonna have to wait. So it's kind of funny and counterproductive, because you could have just parked normally, and a Miata's pretty small, so and it was empty, and you weren't gonna get door dinged. Also, noob move, bro. If you're trying to avoid damage, you park right next to the cart return. That's you parked in the highest probability area of getting a ding in the parking lot, and then you park like a dick. They protected you from the cart ding, at least, I guess. Maybe these people unwittingly did the Miata a favor. Parked his diesel in an EV spot, and even hung the plug on his truck bed stake hole to make it look like he was using the station. Yeah, that right there definitely looks like an EV. I remember back in the mid-2000s when Dodge Ram was making their EV pickup trucks way ahead of the curve. They didn't catch on really well, but this guy right here, he got one of them Dodge Ram EV pickup trucks. He's being very conscious then about the environment. So good on him. Also, I mean, hey, you know, he got right up against the curb right there. He's giving plenty of space to the cars next to him, so at least he didn't occupy 2 EV spaces, although then he could have charged twice as fast. They had those dual ports. There's one right there, and then there's one on the other side of the vehicle. It was a revolutionary feature at the time. You just cables all over the place, man. You put another one in there and there and there, like 10 cables. You look like a spider. And the top for the last year of bad parking. Ayo, my guy, you ain't even in a spot. Oh, stickering cars. Attention. You parked like an idiot. Wow. All right. See, I'd be very concerned about doing this. I guess if I was absolutely positive that the owner of the vehicle was not gonna see me, but I don't know. I would be too afraid of getting shot today. I assume there's a very direct correlation between people who park like this and people who would shoot you. So I prefer, the risk just isn't worth the reward, you know? At least in my book, but you gotta be careful leaving them there. They can fall into the door and possibly interfere with the moving parts. I can't tell if this is like a legally, you know, unambiguous way of leaving some information. Like, oh no, don't leave them there. They might cause an issue. Oh, that would be terrible if that happened. Oh no! Or if they're actually saying don't do it because it's an issue. Hard to know for sure. Anyway, that's it for the last year of bad parking. Hope you've enjoyed. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.